Have you ever wondered if the moon, our solitary satellite, has any influence on us? Really, does its waxing and waning shape our lives in more ways than we realize? Or is it just its physical presence? The moon, our closest celestial neighbor, has been a source of fascination and intrigue throughout human history. It is the brightest object in our night sky, and the only other celestial body that humans have set foot on. Its phases, from new moon to full moon, have been observed and recorded by countless civilizations, becoming an integral part of our calendars and our understanding of time. But beyond these practical aspects, the moon has also been the subject of countless myths and beliefs. In many cultures, the moon has been revered, feared, and celebrated. It has been associated with gods and goddesses, with fertility and harvest, and with the mysterious and the unknown. One of the most widespread beliefs is the idea that the moon can influence human behavior and mood. This is often referred to as the lunar effect. Many people believe that the full moon can cause erratic behavior, insomnia, and even increase the incidence of mental health issues. It's a belief that has been immortalized in folklore and popular culture, from werewolf legends to modern horror films. In fact, the word lunatic, now an outdated and offensive term for someone with mental health issues, comes from the Latin lunaticus, meaning moonstruck. This reflects the ancient belief that changes in the moon could directly affect a person's mental state. So, the moon certainly holds a significant place in our collective consciousness. Its mysterious glow has captivated us, its phases have guided us, and its perceived influence has intrigued and often frightened us. But while these beliefs have been prevalent for centuries, what does scientific research say about it? Let's dive into the concept of the lunar effect. This term refers to the belief that the moon's phases, particularly the full moon, can influence human behavior and health. It's an idea that has existed throughout history, with tales of werewolves and lunatics running amok during a full moon. But beyond these fables, could there be a shred of truth to this? Several studies have attempted to unravel this lunar mystery. Some researchers have claimed to find a correlation between the full moon and certain human behaviors. For instance, a study published in the Journal of Affective Disorders found an increase in psychiatric hospital admissions during a full moon. Similarly, another study reported a spike in crime rates during the full moon phase. Health is another area where the lunar effect has been investigated. Some research suggests that the full moon can impact sleep quality. In a study conducted by the University of Basel, participants reportedly experienced more disturbed sleep during a full moon, even though they weren't aware of the moon's phase. The full moon has also been linked with fertility and birth rates. A study in the American Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology noted an increase in spontaneous deliveries during a full moon. This gave birth to the notion that the moon's gravitational pull could somehow induce labor, much like how it influences the tides. But it's not just the full moon that's under the lunar effect's spotlight. Some studies suggest that the new moon can influence human behavior as well. One such study found that people tend to take more risks and make more impulsive decisions during a new moon. These studies certainly paint a fascinating picture of the potential influence of the moon on us. However, it's important to remember that for every study showing a correlation, there are others that find no link whatsoever. This lack of consensus has left the scientific community divided on the lunar effect. Let's explore why. Science, as we know, seeks evidence. So what does it say about the lunar effect? Well, if we dive into the ocean of scientific studies, we find that many attempts have been made to investigate the lunar effect. Some studies have claimed to find a link between the moon's phases and human behavior. But when we look at these studies more closely, we find that the evidence is not as solid as it might first appear. One of the most extensive studies, published in the Journal of Affective Disorders, analyzed data from over 60,000 individuals in an attempt to find a correlation between lunar cycles and mental health issues. The result? No significant connection was found. Another study, published in the British Medical Journal, looked at over 100,000 emergency hospital admissions and found no correlation with the lunar cycle. And then there's the inconsistency. If the lunar effect were a solid scientific fact, we would expect to see consistent results across different studies, but that's not the case. Some studies claim to find a correlation, others find none. Some even suggest the opposite, that human behavior is less influenced by the moon than we might think. Perhaps the most telling evidence against the lunar effect comes from a review published in the Psychological Bulletin. After examining over 100 studies on the topic, the researchers concluded that there is no reliable evidence to support the notion that lunar cycles have a significant impact on human behavior. So, the scientific consensus? It's a bit like trying to grab a handful of moon dust. The evidence slips through our fingers, leaving us with nothing solid to hold on to. The majority of scientific studies, from large-scale analyses to small-scale experiments, do not support the lunar effect. The scientific consensus, it seems, doesn't quite support the lunar effect. But what about the moon's impact on our physical world? One undeniable influence of the moon is its effect on our planet's tides. This fascinating phenomenon, as regular as clockwork, is a direct result of the moon's gravitational pull on Earth. Every day, as the moon orbits our planet, it exerts a gravitational pull on the water in our oceans, causing it to bulge outwards. This is what we call a high tide. There's a high tide on the side of the Earth closest to the moon due to its gravitational pull, and interestingly enough, also on the side farthest from the moon. This is due to the centrifugal force produced by the Earth's rotation, which pushes the water outwards. In contrast, at places around the globe perpendicular to the line between the Earth and the Moon, the ocean water is pulled least by the Moon. This results in a low tide. As the Earth rotates, different areas pass through these bulges, experiencing both high and low tides each day. But the Moon's influence doesn't stop at just moving water around. These tides play a vital role in our planet's ecosystem. They mix and churn the ocean waters, facilitating the transport of nutrients and food for marine life. They shape and reshape our coastlines, creating dynamic habitats like estuaries and tidal pools, which are teeming with life. Moreover, tides have been crucial to human civilization as well. They've guided navigational routes for mariners for centuries, and even today, we harness tidal energy as a sustainable source of power. The moon, while silent and distant, is a powerful force that shapes life on Earth in ways we often take for granted. It's a gentle pull that causes the oceans to dance, a celestial puppeteer pulling the strings of our blue planet's waters. While the moon's impact on our physical world is evident, its influence on our lives remains a topic of debate. But one thing is for sure, the moon holds a sway over Earth that goes beyond just lighting up our night sky. As we gaze at the moonlit sky, we are left with a question: just how much does the moon influence us? Over the course of this exploration, we've delved into the mysterious allure of the moon, its perceived effects on human behavior, and the scientific consensus on these matters. We've debunked some myths and highlighted the undeniable physical impact of the moon on our planet. We started with the intriguing concept of the lunar effect. This is the belief that the moon's phases have a tangible impact on human behavior, influencing everything from hospital admissions to crime rates. While such beliefs are widespread and deeply ingrained in our collective consciousness, we've discovered that they lack robust scientific backing. We've also sifted through the science and the superstition, debunking myths about the moon's influence on our sleep patterns, mental health, and even fertility. While these ideas are fascinating, they are often based on anecdotal evidence and do not stand up to rigorous scientific scrutiny. Then, we delved into the moon's undeniable impact on the Earth's tides. The gravitational pull of the moon causes the ocean's tides to ebb and flow, a phenomenon that has fascinated humanity for millennia. This is a clear example of the moon's physical influence on our planet. So as we gaze at the moonlit sky, we see a celestial body whose influence is both tangible and elusive. Its physical impact on our world is undeniable, from the ebb and flow of the tides to the subtle shifts in our planet's rotation. Yet its influence on our day-to-day lives and behaviors remains a matter of debate, a mystery yet to be fully unraveled by science. But perhaps that's the most profound influence of the moon, its ability to inspire our curiosity, to ignite our wonder, and to stir within us a desire to explore the unknown. As the moon continues its celestial dance, perhaps its most profound influence on us is to inspire curiosity, wonder, and a desire to explore the unknown.